This is super weird. I feel like it's weird because I've already like sat down and like filmed something like this before. So I'm gonna try, I don't know, I'm just gonna cut the shit this time.
She did not cut the shit.
Basically, I guess you've seen the title. I'm about to leave to go surprise my family. You ever just watch yourself back and you're just like, I hate it. Anyway, hi, it's me. It's been a while. It's actually been a year to the day since I filmed that. And you might be thinking like, oh, what took you so long to do this? I've never seen this video before. And look, I've got some explaining to do, but just let me ramble for a bit, because I will. As said, I did not cut this shit. She loves the ramble. Look at me right now, rambling. Anyway, go on, watch it. They don't know I'm coming. I'm gonna drive. Pretty live, laugh, love of me, if you ask me. You're not, but this is my channel, so it is. So yeah, the backstory from WA, moved over here maybe 5.5 years ago, which is fine, of course, you know, live independently. But then pandemics happen, as it turns out. So I was meant to go home for quite an extensive amount of time this year. Well, that's what I wanted, because previously to that, the last time I'd been over there was like 2 years ago for my grandmother's funeral. And I was there for less than 24 hours. And obviously it's not the most fun occasion. Luckily last year my mum, dad and sister all came over, so I got to see them. Hi! Cassie came to say hi. Cassie's coming with me for this trip, and so is my friend Mick. He's gonna drive over with me, which is probably for the best, just given that it's kind of like in the middle of summer. I kind of like would have preferred to have someone with me, and I'm excited to show him where I'm from, and I'm just so excited to be back. But yeah, essentially about to leave, drive out, drive home, just see what's up. I plan to do this in November when they opened the border to WA. They like removed their hard border and transitioned to a controlled border, and it was the day of my last exam. So I was like, right, I'll have my last exam, I'll work the next day, and then I'll drive out. I was meant to leave Monday, and literally Sunday night was when our parafill cluster started. So they shut the border. And I couldn't go, and like I told my dad, and we'd organised, we were gonna surprise my mum, my sister, and we literally had it all planned, and I was so excited, and then it all happened, and I had to call my dad back and tell him that I couldn't come, and that sucked. It really sucked to do. So I'm not telling him this time. Hopefully. Oh. I understand me saying hopefully that didn't make any sense, and it's because really everything around what I'd said sucked, so I cut it all out. But Cassie was just so, I keep looking at the screen because I'm looking at it, sorry. This is like a reaction video. Anyway, so I cut everything around it, but she was just too damn cute to cut that bit out. So it does make sense, but it doesn't need to, because look how cute she is. All right, cool, carry on. Cassie's also done this trip before. She drove over with me when I moved here. I wouldn't say that we're professionals. There's also a lot of people over there that miss this one probably far more than what they miss me, which I understand because they get to see me on the internet. And whilst I post a lot of Cassie, there's nothing quite like being with Cassie in person. When I tell you this video took me a long time to edit, I mean it took me a whole last year to get through it. And it's moments like these that do it. Look, most of you know what's happened, some in more depth than others. So this video is still gonna serve the purpose of, you know, like, oh, me surprising my family, and it, you know, and my road trip with Mick and what have you. But it'll also serve the purpose of telling like the full story, and probably more what the video was meant to be about anyway. It's just that like I didn't know it at the time. The universe works in mysterious ways, doesn't it? Probably like talk to you soon, but that's what's happening, guys. That's the video. We're driving to WA. It's gonna take me 3 days. I'm gonna surprise my family. It's gonna be good. All right. Bunbury, WA.
Okay, here's Bunbury.
Go.
Starting route to Bunbury.
All right. track team?
Mate, we've been there like in 2 days.
2 days. It is! Except my battery went flat while we were getting fuel. We hadn't even left Adelaide yet, so we lost some driving hours waiting for RAA. But thank fuck it didn't happen out in the Nully, otherwise we would have been fucked. Anyway. We made it to Port Augusta that night. Obviously we left pretty late because of the battery thing. But I mean, it was for the best, otherwise, as I said, we would have been fucked. So yeah, just found somewhere to stay, cruised out the next morning, not before Cassie could have a sniff and a piss in the On The Run parking lot, thank you very much. So we stopped in Kimber, saw some silo art. It was really nice, of course. I just thought that there was going to be more on this journey because I swear I've heard a lot about the old silo art, but we didn't, and I'm still not over it, clearly. Kimber has a giant galah, as seen here. Big galah. It's not that big. Aww. So unenthused. Sorry, galah. But Cassie's seen him before. Yeah, look, I'm making excuses for it, but she's just a bit of a snob. To be honest, you should see her snobbing off other dogs. She just like has a little sniff and she's like, thank you so much. No more though. Keep away from it. Just wanted to give an update. The update is that we're driving. Cassie, you have anything to say? Nope. That's it. That's driving. Catcher, I wish I had one. Fuck. I should have brought a dream catcher. That's why I've been having bad dreams. Nothing to catch him. Fuck. I was told there was a pink lake. This is violet. I'm complaining. This is so cool. Imagine if you had a drone for this. That's where they get this is where they get that shot from. You know, like on all the advertising? Alright, it's pink now. It's not lilac anymore. They have a drone. See, they know what's up. good truck to drive past. Welcome to WA. And thus began the 90 mile straight. So straight. Anyway, it's like the straightest road in the world, southern hemisphere. Actually, I think it's just Australia. I'm trying to make it sound more exciting than what it is because it's just dead ass a straight road. On the way to Baledonia, Western Australia. Can you stand it?
Don't believe I forgot my switch.
I love that when you take Cassie out of the car, she doesn't start walking off. She just fucking stands there and looks around like, what the fuck? Sniff that air. Where are we? Baledonia. We're not going to make it to Dad's today, but we'll make it there tomorrow morning. And I wish we were in a bus like that. That's enough of that. Hey? I swear, as soon as there's a camera around, Cassie just loves to look disinterested. It's just her thing. Here we're in Norseman, I think. It's hard to keep track from this point, to be honest. You just gonna have to believe me, Norseman. When you're on the road and you get lettuce and tomato and something and you feel like a fucking queen. We're just waiting for Mick to get a drink, go to the toilet, we fueled up. Cute. She wants my chicken.
Towards Nana.
Going west. I guess we haven't given an update for a while on the old.
One hat, please.
Mick left his like favourite maroon hat in Ravensthorpe, and like it's particularly devastating for him because got a bit of a big head, doesn't he? So it's really hard for him to find hats that fit him. Can't relate, but it's a struggle that I've witnessed as seen here. Oh shit, one hat please. So we've made it to Nana, but my dad's down the river, so we can't surprise my dad. So we're just gonna have a squiz and go see my mum. Tried to call my dad, won't answer because there's no reception, so that's fine. We'll just see him later. So we left Nana, obviously couldn't reach my dad, which in hindsight, like, yeah, duh. Like, I don't know why. Like, I was just so hell-bent on going to Nana. I think it's because, like, I used to go there a fair amount as, like, not even as a kid, like, as a fucking young adult. Like, I really liked Nana. It's, like, this time, like, in a forest, along a river, and it had, like, vintage stores, and, like, I don't know, I just really always loved Nana. And because Nana is, like, the place to get to the river, I was like, what if Dad was somehow at the bakery, my favourite bakery by the way, No Nut Bakery, great pies, thank you so much. Went there too late in the day, no pies were to be had, very devastating. And then also my dad wasn't magically just there. It's like I thought the universe would be like, oh, at like fucking 2 in the afternoon, go to Nana and get some bread. Like he would never, no one would do that. Whatever, we went. It was also like I said, hindsight is like a hella detour. Like it really just added a lot more time onto our trip than what needed to happen. And then I was even more over driving. Anyway, we left. We started driving towards my mum's house, which is in Bunbury. I think it's like 2 hours away. I can't remember anymore. And as we're getting closer, I just started to get nervous. So like, what if she wasn't home? What if no one was going to be fucking home? And like, I've just like dragged me across the country to just be like, oh, well, I guess we'll just... Like, I don't actually know where my sister's house was because I'd never been I'd never been to my sister's house before because it was new. So like I said, couldn't get in contact with my dad because there's no reception at my dad's hut down the river. But I think if he goes to the beach and he goes up Sand Dune, he gets the old Telstra reception. So I guess he did that, like not far off Mum's, because then he rang me thus.
Because I can.
I think I was just like, where are you? Like, why? Anyway.
That's a shame. Just driving to Mum's house.
I bloody knew it.
Bloody knew it. I went to Nannup and everything. I went to the bloody bread shop and I told him to tell you the girl with the chihuahua said hello.
Well, how long are you in town for? What are you doing? You're going down the hunt.
Well, yeah, I know. So I was like, well, I'm just going to have to text the bastard, aren't I? What are you doing?
Well, nothing really, so I might just come home.
Well, yeah, if you wanted to. I mean, I guess.
Bloody knew it, you little bitch.
No,
Bloody knew it. Oh,
what do you mean? How'd you know it?
I just knew. I don't know. I just bloody knew.
Alright, well, don't tell Georgie yet, obviously.
Does Mum know you're coming round?
No, she didn't. Do you know what? She rang me today because she got my Christmas card. She rang me and she was like, what are you doing? I told her I was walking down the parade, but I was actually in Bridgetown. Oh, fuck, there's Angry Jack's here now. You're joking. Yeah, it's all happening. God, what a metropolis. Well, I'll see you in a couple of days, I guess, Phil.
Alright, so good on you.
Yeah.
Bloody little sod. Oh, you son of a kid.
Why?
You could have told me so I could be there.
There's no special treatment, Phil. Not this time around. Look, I know I could have told them that I was coming and I could have avoided all of this, like, shit show of where are they, da-da-da. But once you've had your, like, plans ruined before, like I had, you just don't want to jinx it. And, like, it's a bit funny now looking back on this because I've had my plans and my friends' plans to, like, come here and me go there and da-da-da, vice versa, like, ruined many more times. And I think you just learn to deal with it better, you know? Or you just repress it better. You decide. Doesn't matter. I'm in therapy. Let it go. Anyway, now here's me attempting to surprise my mum. Anyway, carry on. Imagine she's gone to the shops.
Probably.
I knew. I don't know how I knew. I just knew that this bitch would not be opening up that door without asking, who is it? It's because it's exactly what I would do too. You know, you stranger danger for a start. And all I could think of was to like pretend I was Georgia, but I didn't know how to pretend I was Georgia. So I just yelled, it's Georgia. And like hope for the best. So she would at least open the door. So like I think it just confused her even more, to be honest. So when she opened it, I think she was just like, it's Georgia.
Oh, hello!
It's Mick.
Good coming! Oh, it's so good to see you. Yes, darling baby. Hi, Mick.
This is me.
Hey,
knows that me. I know I'm cutting in a lot, but I got explaining to do. Also, so this is my family's first time meeting my best friend Mick as well. Obviously they've heard a lot about him, but living in different states, it's just, yeah. It was like, I mean, I hadn't seen my sister's house. She just met my best friend. So I'm super grateful that he came so he could actually like fucking meet everyone, and also like so he could be my cameraman, my moral support, me awake while driving. Like, it's a good memory. There's nothing like being stuck in a car with someone for days on end, and it was a good, like, just a nice bonding experience. Like, good for him to see me, see my family, that like special time spent with Cassie. Like, it's a really good memory for me, so I hope it is for him too. Anyway, carry on.
My little Hannah, gorgeous girl.
She is happy that I'm here. She just was scared.
I was shocked.
I heard her behind the door being like, who is it? I had to be like, it's Georgia. Hey.
Hello,
Cassie, it's Nana.
little Cassie, darling.
Aww.
You're a baby.
She loved it. She was really good. She like drove across really well.
She's
Slept the whole
a
time.
good girl.
So obviously after that we decided we better go surprise my sister Georgia. She lives on a farm. It's like a bit of a way out, but I was pretty sick of driving at that point, and also I've never been there before. So Mum drove, which, I mean, I forgot how my mum drives. I guess maybe it explains a little bit of my road rage, but then also it doesn't explain other things. So let's just leave it at that.
Slow down. Fuck me. You're allowed to do 110 now, assholes.
Cassie, where are we? We're gonna see Georgia.
once again, not home. You can't make it up, I don't know. So I have a bit of a knock. Mum gets sick of it, clearly. Just busts on in.
Georgia.
To assess the situation.
Georgia, are you in?
Anyway, so Mum went in, assessed the situation. We had a bit of a tour of the house, and then I think we saw her coming back up the driveway. That's the beauty of a long driveway. Anyway, so here's me surprising my sister.
Momo, but not Luna.
How are ya? Hi. Look nice in the dress.
You did like scared.
Yeah, they rocked up to my house, and I go, is it you, Georgia? It's like trying to speak like, talk like you.
Just sorry to interject here. I just love that my sister's like crying in my arms and my mum's telling like a sick story.
Very nice to meet you.
One says fragile, but I just dropped. Oh my god, you're in my house.
I know, I've already looked through it, sorry.
Oh, thanks. What? I own this. You've just seen this.
Yeah, I know.
How long have you been?
We just sort of got here. We drove.
But in this state, I mean.
Well, a day or two, I guess.
What the?
Because we
fuck?
drove.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
true, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, lucky I left the aircon on for you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So right. Look, this is literally just 10 seconds of Cassie being cute and having a squiz. Anyway, then Georgia showed us around their property a little bit more, and it's just so nice. Like, I can't wait to go back again. Callum, her partner, came home not long after, and we got to see him too, which is also really cool. And then we got pretty slack with the filming once the main surprises were over. Like when Dad came home the next day, we didn't film that either, so shoot me. We drove back in. Me and Mick stayed at Dad's that night, just because Mum has a cat as well. George has cats. Mum's got a cat and I'm allergic, so we're staying at Dad's. I also don't think that the cats would appreciate sharing their domain with a tiny blonde dog. Next morning, I think this was New Year's Eve, and then Mick's flight was on New Year's Day, so we headed up to Perth. Tried to show Mick as many sites of Bunbury that like I could fit in. There's probably not really that many, but it's more of like the nostalgic sense of showing your friend where you're from. Got up to Perth. We caught up with one of Mick's like oldest friends that happened to be in Perth at the same time, which is pretty lucky. And then we went and saw Chloe. I got to see Chloe's house for the first time because she's bought that since I've been locked out. And just since I've been away, and she got to meet Mick as well, so it was just like an all-around nice time. And then you might be like, oh cool, well why is there only like random footage of Mick at Dome?
It's amazing.
Which is the best, by the way. Well, obviously, like, my cameraman Mick left the next morning, and then the aim of the video was pretty much done. You know, like, surprise my family. I've gone and done it. Sick. But I did want to film, like, obviously, like, an outro. You know, maybe with my family, like, something. I don't know. It was going to be done. You know, the whole thing. So now I get into why that never happened, and why exactly it took me a year to edit this. I mean, it's really because there was only so much I could. This year has been really heavy. I guess I just start. So on the 3rd of Jan, I was staying at my dad's. He'd gone to bed that night. I was on the phone to Chloe. We were just having a chat. She was on speaker. We were just organising stuff because I was going back up with Cassie the next day to stay with her and like hang out. When Cassie, who was asleep, just started like yelping really loud, except it wasn't like yelping at all. It was like I'd never heard anything like it. And like she'd gone really like stiff. And I freaked out. Like Chloe's still on speaker, like I'm like calling for my dad, I'm like down there, like I'm with her, just like I've just got no fucking idea what's going on. It was just, it was awful. Like I've never experienced anything like it. It was fucked. She ended up coming to, she stopped seizing, basically. She had a seizure. Like, I was like, fuck, why would this happen when I'm like not at home, when I'm not near her vet or anything? But like, either way, it was so late at night that our normal vet would have been shut. And like, at least I was in my like childhood town, city, so at least I was where I knew where the vets were. So we like went to the like 24-hour call out vet. I mean, so I was just like, I I was just in so much shock. The vet confirmed for us that it was a seizure, and given her age, it was most likely caused by like a brain tumor, which did check out, to be honest, because over the last year or so, she had started developing like this little like tick. It's almost like she was like sneezing, but without like the sneeze. It was a little bit funny, but it wasn't detrimental to her at all. So I just like, it's just something you notice. You were like, okay. She said that she might have more seizures after this. She might never have another one again. If she does have more, there's like medication for it and stuff like that. And so we left. They actually had another person coming in that he called in after. They called like while we were there, and we found out later that it was actually Callum with one of George's cats, Luna. Like, it was so weird. Like, if we had have been like any other time, we would have crossed paths. We would have been like literally like my brother-in-law. Bad night for the Kelly fam, I guess. Luna's fine, just for clarification. But yeah, even as we were like driving back to Dad's, like Cassie, she's already started to come to a little bit. Like she was already like being more of herself, like doing her normal like comfort things. Like she would always like lick either her paws or like arms or something, like and she was doing those. So I guess like I was like, okay, good sign, okay. Like it was comforting to her, and so then it was like comforting to me too, you know. So the next day she was mostly fine, you know, trotting around and what have you, you know, like considering. I got a call from our vet in Adelaide. They were so amazing too, like just really a good phone call, like reassuring. So we drove to Perth to stay with Chloe. And so Chloe, I don't remember if you've seen my other videos, like you would have seen that Chloe and I have lived together before, which means she's lived with Cassie before. So she's basically like Auntie Chloe. So it was really, really important and really special that we got to like stay there, and she got to see Cassie again. Like she loves Cassie. So obviously like Chloe knows as well about the seizures. Like she was on the phone when the other one happened, which would have been awful. Like imagine how helpless I felt helpless. And she just had to listen to it over the phone. It was fucked. It was just fucked. So we just took it easy that night, you know, we just like stayed in, just like hung out. But unfortunately, once again, Cassie had another seizure. This one was much shorter, and I think because now I'd seen like one, at least I knew what was even going on. Like the first one, I had no, I don't know if it was stupid of me, I just had no idea what was going on. But because it was a lot shorter, I just felt a little bit calm. Still, they're so awful to watch. Like I just found a 24-hour vet in Perth. They were so lovely there. So we got medication this time because obviously she had one basically 24 hours apart. It gave us more information, like more support, and it was really good. She did seem to be like, obviously she's very tired, but she seemed to be like coming back to, you know, like once again licking her paws, just resting. So like we just slept it off. So the next day, you know, she was pretty tired, which is fair enough. It's a lot of a toll on the body, I would say. And like she was still like very cuddly, like trotting up and down the driveway at Chloe's, like having a squiz at everything. So that evening we went for a walk down at the park near Chloe's house, and there's like a pond, and like it was like sunset, and there was all these birds, and it was just really nice. And she just trotted along, and she got to like sniff everything and like snub off dogs and pay on what she wanted. And like I carried her for like a good bit of it because she was pretty tired, but it was just like a really nice evening walk. Again that night we like just took it easy, just ordered Uber Eats because he had a problem with her kidneys, so we couldn't like give her any of the Uber Eats, and much to her annoyance. So I think we had chicken treat. I don't know, just the salt probably it just made her more unwell than anything. So at that point in time we were just like, well, we're not going to make her more unwell, are we? But yeah, we just sat on the couch and watched Without a Recipe by the Try Guys on YouTube all night. She was just on the pillow in between us, and I was patting her all night, and it was just really nice. It's hard not to like watch the clock get later and not feel more anxious as time went on, but you do. Chloe ended up going to get ready for bed, and I took Cassie to her bowl just to have a bit of drink of water, and she was so tired, so I was just like holding her up while she's having a drink. She started having another seizure, so I like got down on the ground with her. I like laid her down. I called Chloe back, and I just was down there with her, and I had my hand on her back and my other hand on her stomach, and I was just like patting her. I think because like of the other ones, I just able to just be there in the moment with her and just tell her that I just kept patting her and saying like, I love you, like it's okay. And I feel like she hurt me. Anyway, so I just kept patting her, and I felt her I just felt her heart stop under my fingers, and I tried to resuscitate it, but I knew she was gone, and I knew that this was her time, and it just really special that she was in my arms, and it was while I was telling her, you know, like, I love you and it's okay. Hang on. We drove back to the vet that we'd been to the night before. Chloe just speed demoning through Perth. So we got to the vet and it was so nice. They like took us into the room and they let me sit with her for as long as I wanted. They never tried to take her from me before I was ready. And they just came in and checked on us. And I was just there. I was there for, like, me and Chloe were there for hours. You know, you could be there forever. Like how do you say goodbye, really? I just remember us leaving in the middle of the night. And like, it's so hard to even just gear yourself up to leave without her. Like, but then I already felt like she was with me. The vet was so good. They ended up taking little paw prints from her and a really nice little chunk of her hair. But they just... Anyway, why am I doing this? They helped us organise everything. We ended up deciding on cremation because, like, what am I gonna do? Do you know, like, bury her in, like, at my sister's farm? Like, Cassie's not, like, from there. That's not her home. Like, her home is, like, with me, and I wasn't ready to not have her yet. Even though cremation scares me because burning, I don't know. I wasn't ready to not have her, like, with me yet. And now I have her everywhere with me. I have, like, this is a mess. You see why it took me so long to do this video? It's like a year later and I'm still... I have a little necklace with some of her in there, and she gets to come with me everywhere, which is like, is that not the best thing ever? So we left sometime in the middle of the night. We just drove home. Cassie normally sleeps next to me every night, so that's been like the biggest adjustment. Well, like everything fucking has. But like that night, Chloe was just like, oh, I'll sleep next to you so you're not alone. But I just don't think either of us wanted to be at that point. And like waking up the next morning without her, like I just remember my eyes were so swollen from crying that I could barely open them. And it's just so weird that it just keeps going. Life just literally keeps going, and that's just what happens. And you just wake up the next day and you have to like deal with, like, I had plans that day to see my cousin, and like you just have to start telling people. So I tell my cousin I couldn't see her, like, and why, and like then my sister was meant to meet us there and like see her as well, so I had to tell her. And it's just telling people that it was so, because then you have to like relive it every time, which is, I should have done this video ages ago, because then I wouldn't have had to keep explaining it. I do like telling her story because it is really beautiful. Like, oh my God. You never want it to happen, but the way it happened, it was just so perfect. It was like she literally knew she was home, knew I was home. She saw my sister, she saw my mum, my dad, like she saw Chloe. You got to see everyone again. It was like she knew I was like with, sorry. It was like she knew I was with my people and that I was safe and that she was safe. And it was just her time. And I really feel like she got to pick her time, and it was perfect that she was in my arms while I was telling her that I love her and that it was okay. And then I was with one of my best friends, someone that she loves so much as well. Sorry. So yeah, that's what happened. That's why it took me a whole year. She was 15. We had 8 years together. The other 7 were with a little old lady who had passed away. And I do feel like they were both so And I do feel like they were both there in the end, watching over me, especially in the first few days after it happened. You know, I had 8 years with her and I would never trade them for anything. Like I never had love like that before. I don't feel like I will ever again. I don't know, like she was everything to me, and I'm just so grateful that I never had to make any like bad choice, like any choices. I never had to come home and find her. Like she was right there with me and I was with her. How the fuck am I gonna edit this? Thank you so much to all of my friends and my family who have been there for me this past year. This past year has just been absolutely relentless. I would say the last 3 years compounded have just been, they've just taken a toll on me. I have achieved so much in the last few years with their love and support, so regardless, like I'm so proud of myself, and it's so stupid. I know Cassie is around and I know that she's watching me, and I see her messages that she's sending me, and I hope I'm making her proud too. So Cassie, I love you, I miss you, and I'll see you again when the time is right.